Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, we're in the dog days of the NFL offseason, but all I could think about is Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, it's been a while. We got to get back in the groove, posting videos every other day, but we just needed to get back and talk about A-Rod. Twitter has been a minefield right now with Aaron Rodgers. The meme today that came out of Rodgers with Tyreek Hill, who else?
Kamara and
Alvin
Antonio
Kamara
Brown. Yeah.
and Antonio Brown. It's like, how much do their personalities affect their draft stock? Like, assault and battery is being compared to, I don't want to take a vaccine and I want to do drugs a little bit. Like, help me out there. It doesn't even
It,
make sense.
I had to make a post back at it where I put like Hitler and Stalin and Satan. And it's just like it's absurd. The point is the absurdity of the situation. Um, because I don't get it, like, and again, we've talked about this on the show before, where I kind of want Rodgers to do something annoying now because he's been too well behaved since he's been on the Jets. And
He's
at some
been
point, maybe he'll be like annoying. But again, like what is the issue? And he probably is right about the vaccines after all, which is hilarious. And he wants to go do some drugs in a cave, and doing drugs in a cave led him to us. So he could do whatever he wants.
I mean, he's been perfect to your point. You almost again, maybe he does like a weird tweet that he likes. Like, everything he does is perfect. He's done everything right since he's been here. Every OTA, every player loves him, every coach loves him. I even keep thinking back to the riff that he had in Green Bay with LaFleur. I'm pretty sure Hackett was in the background and was like, dude, this guy fucking sucks. Don't worry about him. Like, he loves Hackett so much, but he hates Matt LaFleur obviously so much. So I'm perfectly fine with everything he's done so far. And we want to talk about his projected stat line. So I'm like,
Yeah.
right now, current roster, no Dalvin Cook, no DeAndre Hopkins, which we'll get into. A lot of people on the Jets Twitter do not want DeAndre Hopkins, and I will debate that to the end of time. But Mike, give me right now Aaron Rodgers 2023 stat line.
I think Rodgers is going to break most of the Jets records. You just have to say by looking at his career. I'm going to go because I think the Jets are going to try to run the ball, which happened in Green Bay as well, which is going to Rodgers great in play action. I think it's going to lead to low interception totals. Rodgers threw 10 interceptions last year for the first time since 2009, which is insane. Um, I think I'm going to go 4,450 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, which is just it's so nice to say.
I think it's a fair stat line. I'm gonna go with 4,200 because I think he's gonna sit week 17 or week 18 because the Jets are gonna have a locked in playoff spot.
Yeah, I like
I think he's
that.
gonna throw for 34 touchdowns, and I'm gonna go 9 interceptions, and 5 of them are gonna be drops by a random, you know,
Tyler hits Tyler Conklin in the face, and someone picks it
the
off. Yeah.
tip ball right off the back of
Oh,
Becton's head, even though he's gonna have an All Pro year. I think if you look at those stat lines with the current roster, makes sense. What if you add in a Dalvin Cook, Mike? Does it really move the needle that much from your projections?
no. Well, the thing with me, I would much rather have DeAndre Hopkins or another receiver than Dalvin Cook, just
Hmm.
positionally. Because again, if you have Garrett Wilson and another sick receiver like DeAndre Hopkins on the outside, good luck. Like, what is another team going to do? You want to play man? Fine. One of those guys will beat their guy. And then you have Alan Lazard as your third guy. You have Hardman doing whatever. And in this scenario, Corey Davis is cut. So that's the thing. If someone's going to pay Hopkins 15 million bucks, it's like the Jets are paying him 5 million bucks because you're going to get rid of Corey Davis in that situation. So I think it's a no brainer. Then when you have Brees Hall up the middle, the Jets have enough juice in the running back room. I'm not concerned. Look, even Michael Carter didn't have a great year last year. Is a solid player. Zonovan Knight, you know, you have enough guys back there where I think it's more worthwhile to add another receiving threat. It doesn't have to be Hopkins. If people want to say Hopkins is 32 and coming off a PED suspension. Fine, he was productive still with bad quarterback play, but I'd rather Hopkins. But if you get Cook, and the other thing with Cook, if you get him, he doesn't go to Miami. He doesn't go to Buffalo. He's
Mm-hmm.
fucking quote tweeting about his brother today with the Bills is obnoxious. I don't know why he'd want to go there though too and ruin like his brother's career. It's pretty selfish.
It's fair. And again, the DeAndre Hopkins, there's no half measures anymore. There's no we like Corey Davis, but we don't love him. And what DeAndre Hopkins did last year when he was on the field was very, very top 15-esque, top 20-esque out of a full 17 game season. So yeah,
In terms of catches and yards per game, he's top 10. Yeah.
I would do it in a heartbeat. And I'm not saying I think when I bring it up on Twitter, people immediately go to the take of we don't need him. This isn't Madden. And I'm like, well, we just traded for Aaron Rodgers, so maybe it is Madden. Like, are we going to keep using that excuse?
Right. And also, they were trying to get Odell Beckham. Why not? And Hopkins is a better player at this point of his career than Beckham. So why would you not do that? It befuddles me.
But also, if you want to do it, if you don't want to do it, and you're like, hey, I really value Corey Davis, I want to use that money for another safety or linebacker.
Fine. That's a normal take.
You can make that take, and it's perfectly fine. And you might be higher on Hardman and Lazard than others. You think maybe Mims is enough of a depth guy. I want Hopkins. And I think if you get Hopkins, everything becomes easier. Everything becomes simpler. If you're going to make me pick between Hopkins and Cook, I run to the Hopkins side. And it doesn't mean Dalvin Cook is bad. Nania put out the graphic, and I feel like once that graphic came out, everyone's like, fuck Dalvin Cook. But at the end of it, again, if Breece Hall goes down and Carter, Bam Knight, and Ty Johnson last year averaged like 3.3 yards a carry and the offense imploded, I don't want that to happen again. So give me Dalvin Cook. I don't care.
Right. Look, there's just no reason to sit on any money going into the season. Of course, you want flexibility if you want to make some kind of in-season move or if someone gets hurt, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying you don't have to spend every single cent, but if there's a chance the Jets are sitting on, I think the Jets still have the fourth most cap space in football right now, is a malpractice if you're in the most win now scenario ever. And of course, the Jets still have to re-sign Quinnen. They have to do whatever with Rodgers' contract. And if that takes them to the point where you don't have enough money to make one of these moves, fine. But again, you're going to cut Corey Davis in that situation where you get only a receiver. You're not going to cut Corey Davis if you sign Dalvin Cook. So that's $10 million off of whatever the actual price is. I think that's kind of a no-brainer situation. I don't know if Hopkins wants to come here. Again, I don't know if the Jets want him, but it seems like you should go. They have to go all in. This is the time.
And
Like
I don't
2009, 2010. Of course, they brought all these veterans, and you're not mortgaging the future. You're just signing a guy.
And I like your analogy a lot. It reminds me, I went to GameStop and I would return like 9 games and get like money off of the game I'm buying. But in this scenario, you save 10 million versus you get like $2 from GameStop. So it's a good analogy. And I'm thinking the only thing that could make this off season derail is an injury to a top player, or if the Quinnen contract is still hanging over our heads in mid August. And again, it's always there's somewhere in the middle. You don't always have to be on the two extremes. It's not that the Jets are assholes that don't want to pay Quinnen Williams. It's not that Quinnen Williams is an asshole for not signing. It's probably a little bit of both, and they're going to get the deal done. And it's just these absolute takes on either side, which isn't the majority at all. I think the vast majority get it. But there's a lot of takes out there where it's the Jets don't know how to pay their own. They never bring their own guys back. They never had a guy to bring back. Think of every draft class since 2011. Who has ever been a guy that you needed to re-sign?
I think the only two guys who got second contracts were David Harris and Bilal Powell in like a 20-year span.
Did Curley get one?
Curley did not get one, but he did come back later, technically. So I guess, but it was not an extension.
But that's exactly everyone that we let go that is homegrown. It's not like they're amazing outside like Demario Davis, who even came back.
Yeah.
That's a very similar scenario after we traded him to the Browns. So I think the Quinnen deal will get done. I can't wait for it to get done. We kept banging the table. Need to take a leap. He's getting better every year. Take a leap, and he exploded last.
No, it's a no-brainer. I mean, if you lose him, that's arguably your best defensive player with Sauce. All pro. It's obvious. Like You just have to do it. There's no reason not to do it. And he's a good dude. He's good in the locker room. His brother's on the team, says all the right things, plays his dick off, wants to play even more. He's fighting with the coaches to have more playing time.
He does like a lot of those
Yeah.
tweets where he's like, this defensive rotation's kind of ass. Like, I hear you, man. When we're at the stadium and there's like a 3rd and 8 and we see a
I'm like, is
defensive
that
line,
Quinnen on the sideline? Like,
not
what?
it's not fun. It's definitely not fun.
Yeah,
But
those are frustrating. Well, it's similar to the people compare it to the Muhammad Wilkerson situation. At the time, I was 100% on board to re-sign Muhammad Wilkerson. 2015, he was terrific. 12 and a half sacks, Pro Bowl. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But this situation, I think, is a no-brainer. You have to, especially with this defense, with the way that the Jets do their ridiculous defensive line rotation and put so much stock into their pass rush. You're going to rush 4. It can't be Al Woods and 3 guys. You have to have Quinnen in there.
I agree. I think it's a no-brainer to your point. And then to bring a step back, I tweeted this out, and CJ Mosley's birthday just happened. What a turnaround his tenure at the Jets has been.
Yeah.
A 180 like you read about. 2019, everyone talks about the greatest first half a defensive player has ever played ever. And then he gets hurt and they end up losing to Buffalo. Tries to fight back. People forget that he tried to fight back against the Patriots in the Monday night game, got injured again. They shut him down.
Week
2020, opting out because of COVID. Okay. And then he was seen at Applebee's. Not great.
That one pissed me off. That really bothered me when he
Maybe it
wouldn't
was for the
play.
best. Like 2020 was such a failed. It maybe you needed those in hindsight, right? I'm still mad he opted
CJ,
out.
he could be worth like 8 wins. The Jets could have made the playoffs that year.
It really showed the. I mean, wasn't James Burgess in 2020 the highest AV player? Was it Neville Hewitt? Like
Probably both of them combined. Honestly, dude, I rewatched the 2019 Cowboys game the other day, like the whole game. I was like, man, like it was insane. It was like Neville Hewitt was covering Jason Witten. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? That was insane.
and all
But
that though, Mosley led to 2021, who he good ball, and 2022 Pro Bowler, and it
all
always
pro.
bothers me. There's a lot of Jet fans will say he lost a step, and maybe he's not the same player he was in Baltimore. Maybe he wasn't the same player he was for a half against Buffalo, but he's still a technical Pro Bowler, good leader,
Second
good
team all
dude.
pro.
He's now playing every second. He's missed 1 game in 2 years. And the Joe Benignos of the world who were mad that he made the Pro Bowl, which is still the most insane take ever. And the fact that he had a platform to say that blows my mind. You want your guys to do well. He made the Pro Bowl. So just wanted to at least take a 2-minute spot here and shout out Mosley, because he has been for 2 years now a very solid Jet and a heartbeat of a defense that he's not the best player. He's not even a top 3 player potentially in that defense. But if he's a top 5 guy and a leader, perfect person to have on our team.
And look, if you're the Jets, you have an all pro at every level of the defense. Quinnen, Mosley, Sauce. Feels good. Balanced out. And again, it's going to be so important for the Jets to cover the middle of the field next year, because you just figure you have Sauce and you have DJ Reed. And then if Michael Carter and Mosley and whoever's playing free safety, if it's Adrian Amos or Tony Adams, whoever it is, if they could lock down the middle of the field, what do you do? Especially with that pass rush. The Jets are going to be like 10 deep rushing the passer, and they're all maniacs.
Agreed. And what happens when they're not on the field, when your offense goes 3 and out with Zach Wilson, when they turn the ball over consistently? I think there's going to be such a relief that, hey, if you get stopped on a 1st and 10 run, Aaron Rodgers now has potentially two plays to get 10 yards and get you a 1st down. Whereas we were fighting behind on a 2nd and 11 run when Michael Carter gets stuffed. Zach Wilson can't complete a pass near 3rd and long every drive. So imagine Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed with fresh legs out there. Michael Carter II not having to play 70 snaps. Like, it's going to be very fun. I can't wait for it to be September. The Hall of Fame game is coming up very quickly. We are fans of the preseason. It is fun to watch your team go out there and dress up and play. So, Mike, anything else before we wrap up? It's good to be back.
No, it feels good. I mean, look, the fact that is Rodgers going to play in that game? Probably like a little bit. The first preseason game.
Here's what I would do. I would let him suit up. I would let him hand the ball off up the middle to Dalvin Cook for 1 yard. I would let him then hand the ball up the middle to Michael Carter for a 4 yard gain, and then a 3rd and 6 play action rollout, like full max protection, first down to Garrett Wilson, pull both of them.
Get the fuck out of the field. Yeah,
Well,
dude.
my favorite. This is going on a tangent. When Sam Darnold was drafted in 2018, for maybe a month going into the game, I was like, I hope they just run the ball on first down. I don't want his first throw being a pick. And I remember saying, run it up the middle. I don't care if you fumble, like just run the ball up the middle. I don't want his first throw being a pick.
They said
And
play action wheel route bomb.
but who even thinks like that's not a normal thought to have? You're just like, I just want to watch my guy play ball. And I think I thought about it and talked about it so much that I manifested that pick six. Where when Zach Wilson was a rookie, I was like, I don't really care. I'm bringing it back. I hope the first play of 2023, the regular season against Buffalo, you have to run the ball for 1 yard on first down. I do not want to throw a pick six against Buffalo week 1. I don't think Aaron Rodgers will do that, but run the ball on first down. That's all I'm asking
Dude,
for.
the pick six, you were at my house. I'd be like, walked out of the house just because we are getting like 1,000 texts for very briefly. Well, of course, and it ended up being an amazing game, but it was just an unbelievable moment.
And our
We
idiot
hyped him up
friend who
so much.
we
Yeah.
love to death, who has season tickets too. He came in like a minute after it happened. He's like, I heard on the radio. And I was like, you didn't experience it live because
Bad.
when he throws that ball,
I thought it was a touchdown
I thought it was a touchdown.
for sure. There can't be anyone there. Stupid fucking Quandre Diggs. I'll never forgive Quandre Diggs.
They definitely practiced that like 100 times and scored 99 touchdowns against Tremaine Johnson. And they're like, oh, we're definitely gonna have this work.
Dude. Oh, I do have something else.
Yep.
Today is LaDainian Tomlinson's birthday, one of the more well-liked Jets of our lifetime. And maybe on like his stats are so ridiculous. I'm people know, but what do you have 28 touchdowns 1 year, 31 including his receiving touchdowns. But it brings me back to the Dalvin Cook point. You could have thought after 2009, so Thomas Jones was running out of gas.
Yep.
And he played 2 years with the Chiefs after and wasn't very effective. So they made the right move to move on. But you had Sean Green, who was so good at the end of the year, unbelievable in the playoffs, similar to Brees Hall kind of guy, in terms of rookie, a lot of hype, yada, yada, yada. You could have said, hey, we have Sean Green, we have Joe McKnight, who's a young, cool guy, X, Y, and Z. But the Jets went out and got LaDainian Tomlinson, and it ended up being a terrific move that really, really helped them. So I hope they're not gun shy here. And I hope they really do everything possible, which of course they would, because their jobs are on the line if this doesn't work out. But you really just have to do everything to make Rodgers' life easier.
Yeah, and we have been critical of Joe Douglas historically. We love him and a lot of the things he does, but we will always call out what he does bad. I hate when people call him the greatest GM in Jets history. When
That's
Weeby
not fair.
Bank has a ring, when Mike Tannenbaum has made the playoffs, like there's different layers to it, and you want to build it the right way. Joe Douglas getting Aaron Rodgers buys him 730 days for me. 2 full years. I do not
What if there's a
care.
leap year? Is that more days?
I think leap year you add on
One day?
1 day. Yeah.
Yeah.
But realistically, if he brings in Jimmy Garoppolo or Derek Carr, if they don't make the playoffs, they're all gone.
Yes.
If you bring in Aaron Rodgers and you go, I don't want to go through all the scenarios, but you're like that close and something maybe unfortunate happens, you can still run it back and I'd feel comfortable. You brought in a top 5 quarterback in the history of the football. So I don't really
What are you
care.
gonna fire Salah and then maybe Rodgers leave? Like who knows what the fuck will happen, right? I completely agree with you. I think you have now. There's 2 years right now where the Jets are just gonna try to win a Super Bowl. And look, in the playoffs, you need luck and things happen. If the Jets lose or some crazy divisional game, it sucks and it's gonna hurt. It's a different kind of pain than we're used to the last 12 years. But it is what it is. Just have to. I just don't want any major injuries. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to see the Jets built a really very well made team. You have a terrific defense. You like you said, we have a top 5 quarterback in the history of the sport. You have these young playmakers. You have a cool offensive line. You have a coaching staff and a general manager have changed the culture of this team. Just let it play out. Let's see what happens.
And injuries are going to happen. There's no way every starter plays 17 games, but I ask for three things. One, don't touch the quarterback position. Let him play a full year. It's been an unbelievable amount of time since a Jets quarterback played every single second of every game.
2013.
2013, because you could say 2015, but Fitz got hurt
in the beginning of the Raider game.
The Raider game. So that's rule one. Please let us have the quarterback. Rule two, the top 7-8 guys, no season-ending injury. You can afford.
Yeah, you pull your hamstring. Don't tear your ACL.
Yeah,
AVT and Brees Hall in a matter of 5 plays. Don't do that.
Top 7, top 10 guys, no season ending. The third one, which is the one that's really plagued the Jets historically, is cluster injuries to positions of need. Yeah, you can have your wide receiver 2, 3, and 4 all go down within a 2-week period, and your wide receiver 1 sucks anyway. Then you have practice guy squads. It's horrible. So that's my 3 rules.
6 right tackles got hurt last year. Ridiculous.
Don't touch the quarterback, because you're right. Because you can survive with Fant being out 4 weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
but you can't survive when 7 guys go down, and then you can't survive when an AVT caliber or Brees Hall caliber are out for the year. So no quarterback, no significant guy out for the year, no cluster injuries, especially when you're trying to make a playoff.
To ask for it's not much.
Every team, every single team, like I think those 3 things, I would say 20 out of 32 NFL teams have all those things happen. And then there's probably like 8 or 10 teams that have like a huge guy go down that sucked for the year. And then 2 teams have all 3 happen to them. And it's been 3 straight years where it happened to the Jets.
Yeah. We're due. We're due for some.
We're due for a good year. We're due for a good year, Mike.
I was whistling the NFL music today all day. Like it's going to be unbelievable.
I think we're 80 days until week 1.
Wow.
Unreal. If you did make it this far, don't forget to hit subscribe, tell a friend. Mike, what do you got before we wrap up?
I'm feeling so good,
dude. Feels great.
It's going to be so good. We haven't experienced a season like this since 2011, which like the hype going into a season. Maybe 2016 a little bit, but not like this.
Are you going to the bar?
I'm going to the bar.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I'm going.
Crappy weather out. I think I'm going to bring the bar to me.
I'll have an extra drink in your honor.
I will see you tomorrow. We're not going to say what it is.
It's true.
Just in case, in the 1 of a billion chance.
One of our ridiculous listeners comes.
Yeah, but I will be at your house at some point tomorrow.
It's true.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not that. We can't say the first part. Yeah. I got you.
All right. Have a good night, buddy. I'll see you there.
Thanks.